I'm just working on these bulbs, and it did some research, and it says that you can soak the gladiolus balls for 24 hours before you can start them inside. Never done it before, but I'm going to try. So I went through the bulbs, and they're pretty much the same size, so it's not too easy to figure out which ones are bigger. I'm going to try these 4. I'm going to put them in the water, and then I'm going to plant them tomorrow. See how they do, and then I'm going to do more research on the other 2 here and see if I should soak those as well, and then I'll do that tomorrow. Apparently the gladiolus, the corns need to be put in the ground like every week or so that you have blooms longer than just like 1 week of like a whole bunch of nice blooms and then you get like nothing. So it's good to kind of space them apart. So I'm going to soak them, and then I'm doing an update on all of the seedlings that were started about a month ago. So here we have the Scarbosa shepherds. They're doing okay. They're really tiny. And then next we have the butterfly milkweed, which is doing pretty good, but it's kind of leggy, so I think I'm going to transplant these just to make sure they have enough food and that they're growing well. Here are the snapdragons. So those are pretty easy and they're fun. They are plenty. And then here are the coneflowers, which are coming along really, really small. Usually when I get them, or I did last year at the garden center, they were huge. So that might just have to be something I do in the fall, or I might have to buy them. I don't know how much bigger they're going to get, but hey, it's a start. My columbines are doing nothing over here. It's not looking too good. So they are not happy with everything else. And the rutabaga, I think, was the last to come out. And their leaves are really cool, very different. So this is what I have that was a month ago. And they're going to be transplanted soon because I want them to have enough food. And then over here we have a different kind of columbine. We have a blue star columbine, and these were really happy in the windowsill. So I think the ones in the bigger area over here next to this one just were not getting enough sun, so that's why they're so slow. There we got some tomatoes. We got yellow pear, which are really good. They taste like lemon. And then some black cherry. Those are really happy. They need to be transplanted pretty soon. I might give them a couple more days. And then over here, we got the Cardinal Climbers. They're doing okay. It's been a little cold, so it's been hard to keep them happy, but they are a hummingbird favorite. They only flower in the fall, so they're not really a great food source. See, this one has true leaves and then some secondary leaves starting there, so that's cool. And then a couple weeks ago, I did another tray of seedlings, and these are going so slow. I don't know what's going on. It's pretty disappointing. It's been about 2 weeks, and all I have really is this butterfly milkweed, which is pretty disappointing. I had my climbers in here, but I took them out because they got too big with the lid. But I'm pretty sure this is rutabaga. So this might be some really bad news with this one tray, because it might just have been totally wasted. So you just never know what's going to happen. I think the temperature was kind of inconsistent where they were as well. These guys were by the windowsill where the temperature remained consistent, and I actually have some columbines, which is crazy that I have them here, but I planted these ones earlier. So that's not good. That's no good. So maybe I'll take the tomatoes out and I will flip it so that these columbines can actually have something happen, because columbines are food in May. And then other than that, they're pretty much nothing. So still working on this here. And the gladiolas today, they've soaked for a while, 24 hours. Some of them have sunk, 2 of them have not sunk, so we'll see. These guys just go directly in, so they're not a problem. They are being stored in dirt, so they are not the same as the gladiolas. Gladiolas are lily, kind of in the lily family. But yeah, we got some really pretty other guys here to deal with, and I got a mess of little things. That's all they are right now, little things. But I'm gonna go ahead and transplant, and I'll show you what that's gonna look like. Just getting ready to put the bulbs into some bigger pots to get them started inside. And how fun is it that I have rocks from the cottage to put in the bottom? That is so cool. So I failed to mention that my garden zone is actually zone 5, which hits a maximum coldness temperature of minus 26. So these plants are going to have to be hardy. A couple of the plants, like my tomatoes and maybe the coneflowers, here in the city of Toronto, it is zone 7A. So it's quite different temps. The zones in Toronto, or the max coldness in Toronto, can be like minus 17 versus minus 26 at the cottage where the hummingbird garden is going to go. So I'm going to put these in there. It actually specifically says the bulb depth and the spacing. So I'm going to try to follow that as best as I can in these tiny pots, but I am impatient. So I am going to get them started inside and see what happens. Everything is in the pots now, and the bulbs are really cool looking. It was a lot of fun unpacking them, making a huge mess in my kitchen. Some of them already have like these cool little sprouts going on, so I made sure that they're facing up. And of course, I almost forgot to label them. So labeling them is a really good idea. So I went and made those labels real quick. I'm going to cover them with dirt, and we'll see what happens. But it's really pretty. I want it to look like this, for sure. Exactly like that. That is how I want it to look. All planted. Just give them a little water. Not too much, just enough to kind of wake them up. I don't like to overwater really at any time. And I always use water that's been sitting for 24 hours, kind of dechlorinate it. I've made an executive decision here to move my tomatoes away from the windowsill and put the columbines that are not happy over here. So the tomatoes will be more happy, and then in a couple more days we will transplant those.